And so we decided several years ago to try broadcast TV. So we created a few commercials. We ran it for a while, and it was doing okay. And then, I'm from the internet space, so without tracking it, commercial ran at 8 o'clock. Did we get a spike of traffic at 8 o'clock? And then Vibe came along and said, "Look, you already have the commercials, you already have the content." And I always wanted to be on, CTV. I thought it was really cool.
If you could, I would love to hear a little bit more about your company. So Kanine Pet Wellness, some have CBD, some do not.
Yep.
How long have y'all been in business? Where are y'all located?
We've been in business about 9 years, which is in the CBD business.
Yeah.
They should give us a grandfather clock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We started out with our grooming tool, which is our King Kong, which is the first thing we produced. And then we kind of saw this burgeoning, sector with CBD, and we knew that it was helping some athletes that my partner was friends with and I'm friends with. Then we did some research, and we tried to find some reporting, and we just we kind of just dug in a little bit. We said, this would be pretty cool. We're all dog lovers. We have this product anyway, so we started to really look into it, and we built it over the last 9 years. Just my two partners and myself.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
So then you decided it was time to diversify, I guess. What was that?
We were forced into having to play smarter, right? And just kind of come up with different ways of winning. So we were on Facebook and Google and all that stuff. And as soon as we introduced CBD, we got kind of kicked off and shut out of everything. We didn't even know, right? We didn't know it was a thing. And so we decided several years ago to try broadcast TV. So we created a few commercials. We had 2-minute commercials, and then we edited it down to 60, and we edited it down to 30, and we ran it for a while, and it was doing okay. And then, I'm from the internet space, so without tracking it, it's a maybe, and we hope so, right? If the commercial ran at 8 o'clock, did we get a spike of traffic at 8 o'clock? So.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then Vibe came along and said, "Look, you already have the commercials, you already have the content." And I always wanted to be on, CTV. I thought it was really cool. And it's an interesting way to reach people, again, because we can't reach people on typical ways. So it was one of those things. We had a conversation. I said, let's try it, because I already have the content. Let's see what we can do. And over a few weeks, we started to figure it out. Pretty interesting. Yeah, it was kind of cool. It took, maybe 6, 7, or 8 little tweaks over the first few weeks, and away we go.
I want to hear a little bit more about, your campaign setup and those tweaks you talk about, because that's one of the things that's so cool about streaming television, is that you can optimize your campaign in real time, which you can do obviously with linear. But before we talk about that, I would also just like to hear what goals did you have in mind when you decided to start with Vibe? Were you thinking, I really want web traffic, I really want awareness, I'm going to watch ROAS, like what?
It's all about return on investment. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for top of funnel. We're very confident in the way our website converts. We know we have incredible products. We just need the eyeballs, right? Because once they come into my process, then we do some drip campaigns, we do funnels, we do retargeting. Our email list is not buy this. It's content oriented. It's helping pets. It's helping what about bringing a new puppy into the family for the holidays? What do you do for New Year's when the fireworks go off? It's important for us to get the word out.
Yeah.
But get the word out knowing that I'm going to be looking at the ROI the whole time.
Right.
Right. Because it's in a business.
So you came in clear-eyed about your expectations. And so tell me a little bit about that initial setup. You made yourself an account, looked at the campaign.
Yeah. Actually, it was good. Your team helped a lot set everything up, and has been helping me too.
Annalise?
Annalise, the best. So we kind of talked it through, and you don't know what you don't know, right?
Mhm.
So you kind of mess around, you click some buttons and you say, okay, this sounds about right. It's just, you know what, why don't we try this? Why don't we tweak this? Why don't we do this?
Mhm.
And again, over a couple of conversations and a few weeks, dial it in,
Yeah.
really
Yep.
dialed it in, which is nice. So it was a matter of either whether it's geographic
Mhm.
or whether it was apparatus or whatever you
Mhm.
call it,
The screen
you know,
type. Yeah.
right, screen type or whatever it is, and age demo and those types of things.
Mhm.
You just kind of it's fun. You play around with it and
Yeah.
find out the winner.
How did you find the platform as far as flexibility, usability, intuitiveness?
It's good. It's good. 68% of households have a pet.
Yeah.
So, as 7 out of 10 people watching TV have a pet. I don't have to get that granular. So we did.
Mhm.
She's, Annalise was like, you know what? Take a step back. I don't have to do
Yeah.
Tuesday 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and Thursday
Right.
4 p.m. It's
Right.
ridiculous. Like at
Right.
least to
Right.
start, right? And we kind of took broad strokes, and then we started going back and dialing in again. And it's been.
Gotcha.
Listen, for
Yeah.
me, in the first few months, if it just pays for itself, just so
Uh-huh.
we can figure it out.
Yeah. And did you use the there's a pet owner um audience, target
Yes.
audience.
Yep.
Did
Yep. That's
you
in
use
there.
that one?
I don't know if we did it for both campaigns. I have a couple of different campaigns.
Okay.
Actually, we did a really cool one. We took our non-active emails and
Mm-hmm.
built an audience within Vibe from it.
Oh,
And
with Klaviyo? Is that the Klaviyo
yeah, yeah,
integration? Very cool. Tell me about that.
yeah, it is pretty cool
Yeah.
actually. You want to nerd out for a second?
Yes.
So it attaches to we upload all of our emails, or we segment it out however we wanted to do it. I think they
Mhm.
did all non-current by non-active. So yeah, it built a whole new audience. It was kind of cool. And we combined, King Kong is a website that we own, which is our compliant website, no CBD
Okay.
on it.
Okay.
So we had that data, we had
Mhm.
this data, we combined it, and it was a nice audience. It was just several hundred thousand um, people or
Very cool.
potential consumers, pet owners.
Very cool. So you have reach, kind of more of a top of funnel, like you were saying, awareness reach campaign. Then you have your Klaviyo campaign. And then do you have a separate, I think you have just a kind of straight up classic retargeting campaign as
Yeah,
well?
well, I have the retargeting and the Klaviyo active now, and then the top of funnel we're gonna mess around with, and then kickstart that one again.
Okay.
But yeah, it's listen again. Like if people are if they're pet owners, they get so jacked up about talking about their pets and seeing pet stuff. So we get people at their best. It's a nice business, and we have a nice connection with our customers. We're very
Yeah,
loyal customers. It's been beautiful experience.
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
It actually is a kind of a nice segue into creative because I always like asking about what that process was like.
We actually have 3 commercials. We have
Okay.
more like an infomercial vibe for our King Kong, which was
Hmm.
compliant, which is our grooming tool, which is shown everywhere around the world.
Hmm.
Then we did a more of an infomercial one in respects to the CBD, which we
Hmm.
could have done I think it was at the time, I would think it was 27 states that
It
we were
changes
allowed
so
to run it
often,
in.
it's really hard to remember.
We did another one that was more of a folksy one, like, hey, just my 2 partners and myself in the park with our dogs.
Hmm.
We love our dogs. We make products because they're blah blah blah, kind of like a home kind of maybe like a Hallmark Christmas movie. And we were playing with, do we do the first wave of commercials, do the intro about who we are, and then go to more of the quote unquote infomercial style, get now, buy this, da 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 da.
Yeah.
We were playing with that. We were playing with 2 different creatives and then doing this on the first one and then only showing this on the second, third, and fourth. Or,
Hmm.
it's just it's a moving kind of target. You kind of play around with it constantly. The good thing is that there's enough toggles to play with that
Yeah.
you can make really substantial changes.
Yes, right, exactly.
Yeah,
And you don't have to pause your campaign to make any changes. It doesn't affect your budget. You can just kind of move
yeah,
things
play around with
around.
it.
So we've talked a little bit about testing, flexibility, setup. So then let's talk about results. I know that you're still kind of in this experimentation mode.
Yeah,
Um, I remember early on, people would just what I call target themselves to death, where you, like you were saying, it's just like I could select every single thing, and I'm
right.
gonna find 5 people who are really perfect, and that's not
Exactly.
how you win in the end. But
Yeah.
it's fun to try.
Right. It's fun that you know you can do it, but
Yeah, yeah,
just brush with broad strokes at
yeah,
first. You know, get
yeah.
that gather data, right? Figure
Hmm.
out maybe what works. You're going to be tracking the age data anyway. So I
Hmm.
can say, oh wow, look, you know, 18 to 34 is 80% of our people. Okay,
Wow.
maybe dial it in. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
I'm not,
Okay.
I'm
It's
not
like,
quoting. Don't quote me here. I'm
okay.
just saying
Okay.
that. You know, but those types of things you can come
Mm.
back when I look at this the reporting every day. I'm like, all right, so this is
You
interesting.
do. What are those results like? I just want to talk a little bit about that reporting dashboard and what that's like for you looking at it.
Retargeting is working very well.
Okay.
Um, I think it's the regular retargeting is working better than the Klaviyo retargeting, but they're
Hmm.
both working very well, and I'm satisfied with both. Like
Okay, great.
even almost at this point, right? Like
Hmm.
we just got to get a little bit more dialed in, and it
Hmm.
will. It kind of it matures.
Hmm.
You know, when you kind of watch it every day, and then you kind of look at it on a week, and then you look at it on a month basis, and then you kind of
Absolutely.
see, you know, where things are going. You're like, all right, I kind of see it's gaining
Hmm.
traction, momentum, whatever word you want to throw in there.
Yeah, and we have seen that that it takes usually for a campaign to hit its peak, it takes about 30, 60, sometimes 90 days.
That's why the Klaviyo thing was such a great bonus for
Yeah.
us because all these people have already raised their hand
Hmm.
over the last, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how far back I went. I might have gone back to 9 years, you know.
Hmm.
So, okay, I know they have pets. I'm all about testing. That's the beauty of the internet. I love to try things and
Yeah.
okay, let's do this one. Let's try it this way. That's why
Yeah.
we're trying to do all these different approaches, whether it's
Hmm.
hey, look at us, we're real people behind the company, or
Hmm.
you know, act now and we'll throw in a free blah blah blah, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
whatever works to get people to try it. That's what we
Well,
need. We did commercial testing on the both retargeting,
okay.
and we settled on one that's working better. So
Cool.
that worked. Now it's just a matter of making it work on the top of funnel where we
Mhm.
can test all three. We
Yeah.
test home and we test canine and we
Mhm.
test, you know, company. We
Yeah.
call it like the company email,
Yeah.
company commercial, excuse me. So we go back and forth. We just have to really to figure it out.
I think we've covered most of what I wanted to chat with you about. I'm just curious before I let you go, what's next for you guys with Vibe, or also more generally, if there's anything you're excited about in the new year. I know it's kind of like straight ahead until the end of the year, but
Yeah.
after that, I mean, is there anything you're excited to explore?
Things are starting to open up on the Google and Facebook side for us.
Hmm.
So we have been started to run offers and ads. A lot of our CBD products have actually been accepted onto Google Shopping for the first time
Oh,
in many years.
congratulations.
I think that's going to be super exciting, and we're also redoing a lot of our SEO architecture in the back end
Hmm.
over the next several weeks. So
Hmm.
Q1 of 25, we should really have like much more of a website that'll appeal to the spiders of the world. You know,
Okay.
that'll
Yeah,
read
yeah,
our
yeah.
stuff, which is cool. And then I think all that helps with the TV too. I think it's all holistic for me.
Absolutely.
If I have 3 or 4 touch points with someone, I'm telling you,
Hmm.
they're gonna try our stuff. All they have to do is try it, and once they try our stuff, they'll never go anywhere else. 6 out of every 10 purchases are rebuys. Like that's insane numbers. It's a matter of getting top of funnel, and
Yeah.
that's kind of been the uphill climb.
It really is rising tides raise all ships, right? So it's like the more touch points you have, the more they're all gonna perform
Yeah,
better. Yeah, thank you
awesome.
for taking the time.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. That's cool.